is stacked. You can whisper behind my back. You can show me how the odds are up against me all day long. But I've been through the fire and come out alive, and there's no more fear in my eyes. Oh, now I'm rising, and you can't bring me down. You can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. My feet have come too far for you to tie them to the ground. You can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. Set my sights on where I'm going at, and turn it back around. You can't stop me now. You can't stop me. All the blood, sweat, and sacrifice. Oh, I paid the dearest price. And no shortcuts here for destiny. I'll take the long way proud. Oh, I know what I've earned, and now it's my turn to light in the fuse, let it burn. My time is rising, but you can't bring me down. Can't stop me now. You can't stop me now. You can't tell me the deck is stacked. You can whisper behind my back. You can show me how the odds are up against me all day long. But I've been through the fire and come out alive, and there's no more fear in my eyes. Oh, now I'm rising, and you can't bring me down. You can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. My feet have come too far for you to tie them to the ground. You can't stop me now. Can't stop me now. Set my sights on where I'm going at, and turn it back around. You can't stop me. You can't tell me the deck is stacked. You can whisper.
Well, good evening and welcome to the Psychic Coffee Shop. And yes, we're playing with our new toys.
Oh my goodness. Stop playing.
You know I'm going to play until I find everything I want.
I know it, right?
And then some.
Oh my goodness. Please. So
Yeah,
how was your day then?
It's been pretty good. I mean, we had to alter the morning routine, which I think I'm going to create the altered morning routine. And, you know, that's more of the traditional morning routine because I do more of the Fly Lady Kate routine. But, you know, it's all fun and good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you fill our audience in on what the insanity you've been living with for the past 72 hours.
What, the Fly Lady system?
Hmm?
Well, basically it is it's kind of the one big clean a week and then lots of small cleans throughout the week.
Mm-hmm.
General theory.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm cool with it. I'm not unfamiliar with the system.
Right.
But yeah, no.
Yeah. This is the second attempt.
Yeah. Well, you got a hold of like a bad version the first time.
I got a hold of the original version.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah, that is designed for stay-at-homes.
Oh yeah. The stay-at-home mom version.
Yeah.
Hello, Facebook user.
Hello, Facebook user. But no, I'm currently doing the paycheck version, and the paycheck fly Lord is much easier. It's a lot of itty bitty stuff, but it works.
Well, it is, and it's just a lot of theories that kind of roll in together that you don't like let stuff pile up. You try to stay ahead of everything. Like you don't um you don't really get overwhelmed if you can get a little bit ahead each day instead of trying to like conquer the world all at once.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
Yeah.
no, it's like in theory, I've always liked it. It's never been perfect. Like I get the theory. I've kind of followed the theory.
Yeah.
Is that washing 2 or 3 dishes at a time is always easier than like the great big giant counter stacked disaster.
Not disaster. Recovery is normally when it's counter-stacked.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah.
But no. I mean, I'm down for it.
Yeah. And it's a lot. It takes out those 6, 8, 15-hour days of cleaning house.
Yeah. Like that's the whole thing you're trying to avoid with it.
Mm-hmm.
Is like no, we're not doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's really built around the idea that most people can't.
Right. Even a
Well,
stay-at-home can't.
No, I mean, because there's limits as a stay-at-home. Like you're gonna get sucked into doing something.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like laundry is just gonna eat up your life. Like dishes are gonna eat up your life. Cooking is gonna eat up your life.
Mm-hmm.
And this idea that on top of all of it, kids are gonna eat up your life. Yeah, no.
No.
But and then you get overwhelmed and the house goes to hell like quickly.
Mm-hmm.
When you try to do the big 15-hour clean. And it's
Right.
like, so why bother?
Right.
Like it becomes the house of depression basically.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I could do that or I could die.
Or not.
You know what I mean?
Do that, or I could take calls.
Or a nap.
Or a nap, which, we found and it even escaped Superdog because he was a little shocked by it. We may have found why Aeson had been so tired.
Yes. Found that in a TikTok video of all places.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Things the pharmacy doesn't want you to know. And there's this real side effect of 2 medications: his sugar medicine and his stomach pill.
Mm-hmm.
Together are tranquilizers.
Yeah, basically, like it reduces blood pressure. It, like there's some related, like it's not exactly like it's gonna, knock you out per se,
Mm-hmm.
but it's gonna create all the right conditions.
Yeah.
Like if you're the, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a really bad medication combo, especially for you.
Yeah.
Or like office workers in general.
Mm-hmm.
That if you spend large amounts of time stationary, it's going to drop you like a rock.
Yeah.
It's just going to nap time.
Now 30.
Yeah, because you set, you're working, you slow down.
Right.
So, yeah.
Right. Well, you have a news story, and I'm going to go look and see if there's anything popping off today.
Okay. Yeah, I did send one over. Let me go ahead and get that up. I know I wasn't doing something. Well, actually, I've got a few. Which one are we starting with?
I don't know. Choose one.
All right. So let's start with Lauren Boebert, everyone's favorite person, who opened Shooter's Grill. I love it, in Colorado. So yeah, it's closing. So I believe she only opened this just a little while back. Let me double check that. So, but basically, this is the bar restaurant combo. that she opened to celebrate the Second Amendment. And yeah, it's a gun-themed restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about the guns. It's completely meant to be about the guns. But yeah, I was trying to see when she opened it exactly. Because this hasn't been long. It's like, I think it's only been a couple years that has been open. I'm trying to see if a second story gives that date. Like she opened it in X year, but I'm not finding it. But I remember this opening like not too long ago, I don't think. And it's been kind of a mess concept anyway.
Well,
Gun-themed dining. Like it is all about bring your guns, talk about your guns, spend time with your guns.
yeah. Does it have a
This is my
target?
rifle, this is my gun. Sorry.
Is your waitresses covered in bulletproof? Not really.
But no, it literally was only popular with people who fall into the gun nut category
Mm-hmm.
because it's kind of an extreme theory.
Right.
Like when you stop and think about it, it's sort of like Law and Order SVU in a restaurant.
Right.
Like, yeah, if you love Law and Order SVU, that's a great restaurant to go to. But even then, like, that's SVU. You want to talk about that with dinner? Like,
Probably not.
Maybe no. That seems like a horrible combination.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a restaurant. It existed.
Mm-hmm.
And it is closing its doors. Now, connected to this and part of its problems, it's been a problem for her in terms of campaign finance law. Granted, campaign finance law and Lord Bobert do not get along in general.
Of course not.
Of course not.
So,
yeah.
Rules.
Yeah, basically there's been a lot of like her like campaign related expenses that have been paid out to the to shooters that don't really like match up.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like it doesn't really have like a clear why did you spend money here? Like why did you write this check?
Right.
Explain to me why you wrote this check. Like what was it for? What did you do? What did they provide? And more so looks like she just dumped money into the restaurant to keep it running. In short, like very short version. But again, she's also submitted travel reimbursement claims for herself to her campaign finance. And yeah, what was the exact quote on that? Because I loved it. It was a bit over the top. Yeah, so Bobert's personal finances and her campaign finances have been a big question mark as her Federal Election Commission filings have been filled with pretty wild expenditure claims. One such claim reported on last year was that she reimbursed herself on campaign travel costs to the tune of circumnavigating the Earth, which is actually a whole other article in and of itself. But the literal mileage that she paid or reimbursed herself was enough to go completely around the world. It's a lot of mileage, 24,901 miles. Yeah.
Yeah. How did she go around the Earth?
Like you were not running for... oh no, sorry. This is about I'm sorry. Oh yeah, so the Earth is 24,900 miles around. Excuse me. she sought reimbursement for 38,712 miles.
Mm-hmm.
That's a lot of miles.
Yeah.
It's a lot of miles.
It's a lot in general.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically she's been a fun one. When it comes to campaign finance already, but it looks like the restaurant wasn't all that successful, nor really all that popular.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm sure it was really popular for a few people,
Right.
but not enough people to make it profitable.
Right.
Like, unfortunately, conservatives, you are not owed a business. It's so sad to find that out, I'm sure. Because Ayn Rand lied to you.
Mm-hmm.
And so no, you don't get to prop up your pet project with your campaign finances. And so the restaurant is closing.
Well, and I think that, any restaurant that has good food will stay open. So she apparently not only cannot be in government, but she can't cook either.
Oh, well, that's just cute. But no, I mean, I don't think it matters at this point. Like, it could be the best food in the world, but there's a point in which you're like, nah. Like, but the guns.
Mm-hmm.
Like, guns, guns don't kill restaurants, people do. But I'm pretty sure the large quantity of guns while trying to eat
True.
isn't really all that as atmospherically charming as you'd think it was.
Well, and I think that they're going to be very sad because, that means they're going to have to go back to tailgating instead of
know.
Yeah.
Tailgates, bonfires, and probably high school football games are probably going to be where a lot of her restaurant patrons will now find themselves relegated to.
Mm-hmm.
It is very sad.
Right.
Think of the gun nuts.
Right.
Will someone think of the gun nuts?
Well, my personal opinion of it is your gun doesn't belong in a restaurant unless you own the restaurant. Your gun belongs at home unless you're hunting your dinner or stopping the burglar.
Yeah. So yeah, that is the lovely article I found. I laughed at the fact that she has lost her restaurant.
Well, I don't laugh at any business closing, especially in this tough economy. But
oh no, I didn't laugh at this one. No, I laugh at this one.
Hi Brenda. Hi Devon. How are you?
Hey Brenda. Hey Devon. But
you're having a lovely day. All right, so just moving right along. It appears that finally somebody in South Carolina listened to one of our shows.
Oh, cute. Yeah,
because if you remember, I was going off about personal finance not being taught and required in schools.
I know, right?
Columbus, South Carolina. To graduate high school, students probably have to learn the phenomenological theory, memorize the 3 branches of government and their functions, and read a little Shakespeare. But in future, South Carolina students will also have to learn skills like managing credit cards, filing taxes, and get their diploma.
Nice.
Yes.
So actually a bipartisan push at the State House to make sure South Carolina students are financially literate and prepared for life after high school. Now, here's the problem.
Okay.
Is I really hope this is legitimate financial literacy and not like a, Visa created, like MasterCard created guide to personal finance. Like, does anyone remember when we were in school that some of the materials we were taught from were like bought for and paid for by like the industries they were about? Like coal, for instance, in West Virginia. Coal told you how wonderful itself was. They bought all the materials and paid the school system to teach that to us. Like, it's one of those things you could easily forget. But I didn't realize it until like someone was bringing up like that. No, their companies pay for this shit,
Right.
or can. It's a thing that occurs
Mm-hmm.
within our school systems. Is the lessons, materials, etc. are bought and paid for in some instances by corporations to
Mm-hmm.
tell you their version of what they do.
Right.
Like, and their wonderful impact on the world, and how they help, and how great they are, and how important they are. And I just was sitting there and I was like, now that you mention it, yeah,
Yeah.
like
But
I remember a couple of different things that we did that were a little more than a normal lesson.
mm-hmm.
Like it came with its own like coloring book and or like a guide, and like
Mm-hmm.
I do remember that these were materials bought and paid for, or like that they had corporate logos on them.
Uh-huh.
And like I never like I didn't think about it when I was a kid
Right.
because I was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just didn't re-enter my consciousness until someone said it, and I was like, holy shit.
Well, what's interesting is, the classes that are laid out here are on real hard ones, lessons covered in budgeting, checking, savings, and more. They actually teach kids how to prepare taxes, and some that have already took what's called a pre-secular, meaning it's a class they're testing, actually filed their taxes for their parents.
Nice.
So soon,
Wonder how many got audited.
I'll wonder. The law was written on the state budget directive of the department, and I think that it's great that they're doing this because kids, example, I am scared of a mortgage. I've never done one.
Oh no, I like mortgage. Like I could, I could understand being scared of it. It is very frequently a predatory lending tool.
Mm-hmm.
We've been like, hi, I hate that like a lot of you that may be watching were born post 2000.
Mm-hmm.
Not that mortgages have always been your cuddly friend.
Mm-hmm.
But somewhere after 2000, they really started to go from not your cuddly friend,
Right.
to like, no, this is some predatory shit.
Right.
Like someone fed the gremlin after midnight. Like they went crazy and created like these like toxic. Well, literally, they were it's 2008 in a nutshell is toxic lending. In which you were lending more money than people could afford for houses that were out of their price range,
Mm-hmm.
that weren't worth what the house what they were appraised at.
Right.
And then
Mm-hmm.
you were setting up these really insane, complicated mortgages and allowing people with zero money down,
right,
to effectively have two different mortgages running concurrently. One for 5 years,
mm-hmm.
and then another for the traditional 30.
Mm-hmm.
Then we started getting into 45-year mortgages. I remember that hot moment.
Right.
There was a thing that people, and it's 45 years on a mortgage. 30 is a long time.
Right.
But at if you are 20,
mm-hmm.
and you take out a 30-year mortgage, you're going to be 50 when that house is paid off.
Or
if you're 20 and you take out a 45-year mortgage, you're going to be 65
depending.
when that mortgage is paid off. Yeah. Well, yeah, depending upon if you snowball it or whatever. But the end point being, we weren't teaching within that,
mm-hmm.
what that really meant in terms of money.
Right.
And what this meant in terms of affordability. And then we piggybacked all of this on this old school traditional idea of employment.
Right.
Where you work 30, 40, 50 years straight out of high school, generally speaking, at the same company and retired
Mm-hmm.
with a pension, no less, and corporate benefits and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that evaporated.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, the new advice is if you're not changing career or changing jobs, if you're a W-2 earner, if you are not changing jobs every 3 to 5 years, you are stagnating.
Right.
And effectively, you're quickly becoming, you know, in employment terms, unemployable.
Right.
Like, you obviously don't think you deserve more because the current corporate environment is such that we got rid of raises.
Mm-hmm.
Like, every fucking company you know of has been rocking the same damn line.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hiring's frozen. Oh, raises are frozen.
Mm-hmm.
No, we're not hiring new people. You
Mm-hmm.
know,
Devin, you
come
may
on.
want to hold your checkbook on that one. We're going to talk about this in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
But, in general, you don't stay every 3 to 5 years. I think we're going to be moving more towards you don't work for a company, you work for yourself. Damn, you're thinking about me a lot today. Um,
Sorry, you're popping in and out.
Sorry. I
So
said
you
you
don't
must have been
work for
thinking
a
about me
company.
a lot today. That's the third time I've had to readjust my necklace.
Aw.
Yeah. All right, so let's move on over since Devin brings up that she's hoping to find a house that the bank has repoed.
Oh, yes. All right. So that is the next article, I think.
U.S. housing market could be headed for a meltdown, economists warn. The housing market could be on the verge of a meltdown, and economists warns the following week's data showing a collapse in home building confidence in July. U.S. home builders' confidence plummeted from 12 points to 55 in July, according to the latest data. The National Association of Home Builders and Wells Fargo Housing Market Index released Monday. The statement has declined 7 straight months and is now at its lowest since May of 2020. With more trouble plunging ahead for homeowners, home builders have been in denial about the existence of a drop in demand. Despite mortgage applications falling by more than a quarter over the first half of the year, with no end in sight of the decline, says Aeson, their chief economics expert. Now that they acknowledge the reality, pretty soon anyone who bought a home in the recent months will be sitting on a loss.
Yeah. Well, but that means hold on to more importantly, start getting your checkbook ready.
Yes.
And see, like 20-something-year-old me, I got to go back and say, like, I watched this, like, the insane housing bubble that just grew and grew and grew and grew and grew.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, I remember looking at houses just going, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's not worth it. It's not. There's nothing in this house because we had a lot of cheap construction that was fueling this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, these were some of the most slapped together houses that, like, I had ever seen.
Right.
Like, they were just like generic house number 103. How cheap can we go?
Lowe's rejections. And we saw
Well,
this
yeah,
in the apartment market too. Because I have said, what? Did the builder just look at the Lowe's paper and say, I'll take that in every apartment, please?
well, yeah, there's that. Well, but that's a contractor. Well, yeah, that's effectively, they sell contractor packs for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
It's because when you're putting up 25, 30, 100 homes a month,
Mm-hmm.
and you're buying the stuff in bulk,
Mm-hmm.
like, or more importantly, you're making the same purchase over and over and over again. Like, you're buying outlet covers, you're buying outlets, you're buying outlet boxes, you're buying wiring, you're buying this, you're buying that. over and over and over. You get to a point that legitimately, it's like, hey, instead of buying this for one house at a time, why don't I buy these materials in bulk?
Right.
And, instead of buying just enough lumber to frame up this house, let me buy enough lumber or pre-order enough that's going to be delivered in chunks to build a bunch of houses.
Right.
And buy it at a discount. But then it becomes a thing of, like, everyone has a fucking ceiling tent. There's nothing else to call it. If you're watching the show and you find that objectionable, go stare at your living room ceiling.
Right.
Go stare at your kitchen ceiling. Go stare at your hallway ceiling.
Right.
Somewhere in your house is a ceiling tent. And it looks like your ceiling has a boob.
Right. But what I'm saying is, the housing market for a while now, not just since the last recession, but for a while now, has been insane. Here's a key example. I paid $17,000 for this 3-bedroom house. The last time I looked, we were waging at $100,000 open market.
Yeah. Well, and that's depending.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing with estimates is, theoretically, yes, the house could sell for that or more. Right now, at this moment, if it were on the market, it could sell for that. It could. Legitimate. The reality, though, is that's a very fluctuating value, and it fluctuates quickly.
Right. Well, currently there's 3 other houses on this block. This is a quote-unquote cookie-cutter block with modifications over the past 50 years. Well, now 70 years. So I'm waiting to see what they go for. Because if they go for more, then my comps are going to go up.
Fair enough. But here's the reality. Is the house worth it? Like, 20-year-old me was looking at houses, like, not prepared to buy at all, like, did not have the finances. I just got out of college. I was poor. But I'm looking at the houses going, you barely have any, like, a fourth of that in materials in this house. Like, I'm like, never ever should you ever, in a brand new construction, because I watch friends buying houses, but never ever should you ever, in a brand new construction, be walking and, like, feeling this floor sponge and, like, hearing things rattle. That is an older home problem, or that is a poor construction problem.
That's a poor construction problem. Now, I'm going to say this. Since Devin was talking about buying houses, this is my theory. You take your current income for a year and you divide that in half. That is the amount of home you can afford. You should be planning to pay it off in 15 years. No matter what loan you get, 15 years is your payoff point.
I'm sorry, that was take your annual
35% down.
Okay, that was take your annual income, divide by 2. And then what? Because, like, that's you're making $30,000 a year. So if someone's making $30,000 a year, you can afford a $15,000 home?
Yep.
That doesn't exist.
I understand that.
Okay. Well, but I thought more so that was, like, generally the general theory was 50% of your income should go towards, at most, that's the part everyone forgets to throw in, at most. This is really old guidance, that 50% of your income should be your maximum expenditure on housing.
Yes.
Whether that's in form of a mortgage, whether that's in form of rent.
Right.
That when you're looking at budgeting, 50% is the most anyone can keep up with.
Right.
Now the unfortunate reality is the housing market and the rental market have quickly outpaced that.
They have.
But meanwhile has totally neglected the idea that while they did that, that people have been paying $1,200, $13, $14, $16, $18, $2,000 a month rents, and that a mortgage for a similar, a cheaper mortgage than that, they get rejected for.
Right.
And it's like, wait a minute. Stop the insanity, old Susan Powder would say. Stop the insanity. How can you reject someone with a long-term rental history, like never missed a payment, always made their payments, didn't have any late payments for, 10 years. Like they are now 30-some years old. They have never missed a single rental payment in that time.
Right.
That is greater, that every single one of those payments is greater than the mortgage they would be looking at, because they're smart, intelligent people, and they're trying to get a mortgage that is cheaper than what they're paying in rent.
Right.
Because never should you ever be paying, generally speaking, unless you have a massive change in financial circumstance.
Right.
And even then, you want to be careful, like know your worth. Like, you might have a great job this year that's paying you a ton of money over what your actual field average is.
Right.
You can never assume that you're always going to be making the top end.
Right.
Like, I don't care how good you are at what you do. At some point, you're going to fall out of that.
Right.
You're no longer going to be making the top end of your field. So you need to keep it real and go, if I have to replace the job tomorrow, what can I reasonably expect when I take these skills and I go out and go hire me to get?
Right.
And even that comes with warnings.
Right.
You got to be careful. All of that's great, well, fine, and good, unless you're in the next economic downturn when you have to go find that job. And then, sort of like I did, found out that no, people with 20-year experience were taking, entry-level IT jobs at $30,000 a year.
Right.
And it's like, are you flipping kidding me? It's like, then this one recruiter's talking to me. He's like, no. He said they're literally just trying to hold on to their homes.
Right.
Like, that's it. They have worked for 20 years in the same field as you. And right now, they just want enough money to keep their homes from being foreclosed upon and their vehicles from being repossessed for as long as they can. Like, they're trying to hold out.
Right. And people don't like my advice. They don't. But it comes from a place of experience in dealing with people and watching them. Oh, I think building a tiny home is amazing. It is on my to-do list. But here's how I'm going to do it. And people don't like this either.
Okay.
I'm going to have a savings account that has every bit of it. The land, the sheds, the wiring, the permits, all of that put into it. And then I'll go do that.
Yeah. Well, and more importantly, that is fundamentally, that's where we used to be.
Yeah.
Like, fundamentally, yes, we used more, like, it's the screwed up thing about mortgages and like the last 20, 30, like literally the last generation of mortgages, probably about halfway through the previous generation of mortgages. And I'm saying that in 30-year spans. About halfway through, so the last 45 years, there's been this like push to get people to spend more money than they have on homes they ordinarily wouldn't have looked at because they were too big, they were too much, they were too expensive, and we got real. Do what now?
They were too unnecessary.
Yeah. Well, because we've effectively, since the 1950s, almost tripled. I believe it was the last numbers I saw, was we had almost tripled the idea of square footage that we think we need and what is on the market. Like, you
Right.
look at homes pre-1950, they're about 1,000 square feet.
Mm-hmm.
That's roughly where they're at. 1,000 square feet, 1,200 square feet.
Mm-hmm.
It is very hard to find new construction, generally speaking,
Mm-hmm.
under 3,000 square feet.
Right.
And then they turn into not affordable housing.
Right.
Like, 3,000 square feet is a lot of home.
Yeah.
It's a crap ton of home.
Right.
That is a whole lot of space.
Right.
It's ridiculous. These are McMansions.
And they're insane.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, and a lot of them are built in such ways that, like, think about it in the summer, think about it in the winter. Like, where is this house?
Exactly.
How much is this going to cost to heat and cool?
Right. How often are you going to use that room? It's like our house. People get really confused with our house. They think it's
We
huge.
have no unused rooms.
Yes, we do.
What?
Well, currently one room that is unused by humans, however, is being very occupied by Puppy.
Oh, we just haven't had time to be in that room recently.
True.
But no, I know what you're saying. I thought about it the other day, and I'm like, I spent a fair amount of money for that television.
Yeah. And the dog watches
it. Yeah, and the dog watches it. Yeah. The dog has the best. Our pets have the best audiovisual entertainment system.
Mm-hmm.
That you could, like, it's better than what we have in other rooms.
Yeah.
And they watch it more than
we
we do.
I have really debated this issue. And I don't know if you're going to like this debate or not.
Uh-huh.
I've debated on moving you in there.
Oh, what, my office? Or
yeah, you and your office into that room. Putting a door on it. And that way you have that whole room, and we have a living room, dining room connection that the house was originally planned for.
Yeah. I'm starting to go backwards on the idea, and I could get there really quick.
Yeah.
Like that, okay, this sounded like a better idea in the beginning. Well, because we had a couple of different ideas, but
right.
Like, we've rearranged the house, like, once mentally, once physically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could almost get there, but then I have the heating cooling question, because that's also one of the, like, it stays a little warmer in the summer, it stays a little colder in the winter, because heating and cooling wise, that room's, it's the dead center of the house.
Yeah. During the winter, I think you'll be fine.
No, I won't be back.
Right. It's the summer that things will kind of get, they're comfortable.
Yeah, as long as we don't hit extremes.
Right.
Like, it's comfortable as long as we don't hit extremes.
Right. All right, guys. We're going to be back. We got to go take a puppy break.
All right.
Hi, I'm Tracy Van. I provide a blended reading consisting of mediumship, psychic, and tarot cards. A reading from me can cover any guidance you need, from relationships with your partner or your family, spiritual, financial, any questions you may need clarity on. If you would like to book an appointment with me, check out my website, tracyvan.com. That's TracyVann.com. I have bookings from 15 to 60 minutes you may choose from. That helps if you just have a quick question, need an answer, or if you're looking for a reading in more depth, I'm here to provide the guidance and clarity for you. let's just figure it out. Bye.
Hi, I'm Dottie the Psychic, and I'm sure you're wondering why I'm not wearing any makeup. Well, one reason is to irritate my social media manager, Aeson Knight. Hi, Aeson. The other reason is because I like to get to the naked truth about what it means to be a neurodivergent LGBT person with psychic abilities. I've got vlogs, blogs, and podcasts and videos all related to trying to live my best life and helping witches and bitches do the same thing. So, you can check all that out and get a reading from Dottie the Psychic at DOTTIEthepsychic.com. Safe travel and much profit to you.
Hey everybody, Lady Gwendolyn here, and I am here to tell you how to get in contact with me and a little bit about what I do. I am the High Priestess that works with shadow work to help you grow and heal. And I work with access bars, Reiki, I do power forms. I'm recently getting into crystal healing, sound therapy as well. So you can go to Lady Gwendolyn Healing, that is LadyGwendolynHealing.com. Book your appointment with me. I do in person, I do over the phone, I do over Zoom. We can do that as well. My main goal is to help you grow and heal, because I've been there, I'm still going through it, and I let my strength help guide you. See you soon.
Hi, I'm Aeson Knight. I provide tarot readings covering everything from love and relationships to your life questions and your most spiritual answers. And also, I provide a lot of guidance in finances and divorces and all those relationship problems. So, if you'd like to get a reading from me privately, not on air, you can feel free to do so by visiting aesonknight.com and booking your appointment. I also provide on-demand services, so if your life is a little chaotic, you can go ahead and click that Call Now button there on my site. It'll connect you to Keen, and if you've not been with Keen before, you'll get 3 free minutes to talk with me, so that's great for a quick answer question. All right, guys, back to the show. Enjoy. Bye, y'all. All right, and we're back, and I thought I'd inspire Devin and show her your future home.
Oh, okay. So what is this?
This is your future home.
My future home. Aww.
The 2 bedrooms here that's got the screen porch on the other side. Those become the offices, and then this is the main house.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
And of course, the
I think we
loft.
could rock it.
Oh, I think we could rock this easily. But no, that's been on my Penzic board for a while now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, no, I think that could be nice, and especially if we did like a mother-in-law cottage for like guests.
True.
Like that, and that's not like a thing we need immediately. But like a thing that eventually.
Right.
Like we have the mother-in-law cottage. Come visit. Like you don't even have to be in the same house as us. You can just come visit. Like, you know, it's got a kitchenette. It's like literally a tiny house.
Right.
Like that was the whole like mother-in-law cottage concept, was like it's a tiny house. Like you're not meant to like. It's not intended for the great big giant enormous like meal prep. Like it's a mother-in-law cottage. Come on up to the main house for dinner.
No, Natalie, I haven't.
Oh no, he has not gotten a haircut. This is the amazing wonderfulness of Aeson hair.
And
It's
Sarah,
insane.
yes, but I need a birthday, and I will give you a general reading.
Ooh, he doesn't do those often.
No, I don't.
You do not. So yeah, no, like
Natalie, I've done nothing to this hair.
Oh no, she's in curly chaos. See, here's the thing though, is it probably looks awesome, but like curly hair people never like it.
Right.
I mean, like, are you full poodle perm yet? Like, does it like, have you frizzed up to like it is a poodle perm?
If you have, go get you some salt water, spritz it, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most spots. Yeah. All right. Oh, and Sarah has a specific question as well. So Sarah, July 9th, 1997. General reading first, and then specific question, will I get to move this week?
All right, so we'll take them both in one. We are using the Black Tarot.
Ooh, the Black Tarot. Dun, dun, dun. That is one of our favorite decks. Like that. I will say that is definitely one that like we have pretty much fallen in love with because it is just so gorgeous.
It is. All right. So first up, we have the Ace of Swords. This is you starting a new adventure, a new path, wanting to take on new things. I feel that, with the Five of Cups here, yeah, you're moving, but I don't think it's next week. I think it is within, I would say within 2 weeks. The Queen of Cups shows you stepping away from your emotions. You need to allow those emotions to go because we also have balance with that. The Six of Cups that reminds you to keep things simple. If you haven't touched in 6 months, don't be moving it with you. And of course, we have the Four of Spears, which means your money needs to be watched after. Generally, they want you to work on the following 3 things. Work on your confidence with the Chariot popping up here. Then we have the Nine of Spears popping up, which means you need to be working on your savings because you ain't keeping up with that. And the Five of Wands here says you take on too much and do not balance it out right. Natalie, you know my rules. Spit that birth date out.
Yep. And no, like the hair is looking good. The hair is looking good. Like there. Please come on. There are women that spend forever with like there are straight hair women that spend forever with a curling iron to get there.
Mm-hmm.
You just need some
your hair is looking great. You just need to turn around.
Yeah, just a little taming. Just a little taming. You got some flyaways going on.
Yeah.
Like she's got some root level like
right.
frizziness.
Right.
But that's a little maintenance. That's a little maintenance. So yeah, then Devin looks like is up next.
Devin, yes, Devin, and then we got Nat finally.
Yes. All right. So Devin 31678. I just wonder if my hunch is right about my spell still working. It got dug up.
It got dug up, did it? Well, when someone digs up a spell and fucks with it, i.e. throws it, moves it, whatever, takes it apart, all it does is spread that, spreading of vinegar. If you ever notice and you're dealing with vinegar like pickling or whatever, and it gets on your hands, and then you touch your counter, then you touch your stove, then you touch your sink, that smell just goes all the way around. That also is what's occurred. All right. So I hope that spell you done was a good one. If it wasn't, well, there might be some problems. Ooh, interesting. So first up out of the gate, we have the Star card. Somebody's looking for guidance. What's the moon saying? Then we have the Two of Cups here. A partnership is being born. With that partnership creates money and a focus on you.
All right. And then up next is Natalie for 2184. Any changes in work coming up? Will I be able to, quote, move indoors? What? Don't look like that. That's a horrible face. That's the face of I'm eating my words. I'm eating my words. I'm not going to say the word.
I'm trying to keep somebody's words out of my mouth.
Okay. Ooh, Devin points out it was a mirror box. Like someone got put in a mirror box. It got dug up.
someone
Ooh.
might be going into the mirror box also.
Ah.
Hmm. Interesting. First up out of the gate, we have the four swords: plotting, planning, understanding where situations are. You want to make sure your goals are what they are, meditating on the subject and the situation. Then we have the Eight of Cups. Sometimes you have to debate, is it worth the battle? Is it better to walk away from it? By the way, I'm using the ladies' fan, so we're moving into the present. First up is the Fool. It's a time for new beginnings, new placements, new starts. Married with the Three of Swords, which is that heartbreak or that coming together. With it being placed with the Fool, I would suggest that it is a coming together. Moving ahead, however, we have the Knight of Wands, a new endeavor, a new idea, a new inspiration. Blended with the Magician. The Magician means you create your own reality. You know what you want from the Four of Swords. You need to follow through with it. And the advice card here is the Hierophant. Rise above traditional thinking. Use the spiritual knowledge you have to manifest you want it.
All right. So Natalie points out the Three of Swords always gets her, and that usually gets the Magician. And then she says, "God damn it, Hierophant."
Yep.
Yes. Yeah. So hey, Ashley, how you doing? All right. So ready for Ashley's question?
No, there's a follow-up question. So there's a follow-up one.
Okay. I missed the follow-up question.
Laugh out loud, so just fucking do it and don't worry. More like fucking do it and hand trash bags out.
Oh, fun. So yeah. All right. Now you ready?
Yes.
All right. Ashley, 82696. What big numbers do you see for me? I'm hoping it's 82 and 86. Also, any other advice my spirit guides are giving? And then she points out it's been hectic and she has missed us.
Yeah, I'm
We've
looking.
missed you too. What you looking for?
My dice.
Oh no. Oh.
Set up your divination tools, and they just aren't where you can reach them.
No, usually no. Do we need to go get my gamer dice?
Yes, I prefer them.
Oh, okay. Well, let me send the invisible assistant on that quest.
Yeah, because the only thing I was able to do is grab my runes, and she ain't gonna like those numbers.
Ooh, no. And then we get Jason involved. This could be this. Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
No, let's not do that to anyone.
So they go into different categories than what you're asking.
Yeah.
Yep. So we're going to take Devin and we'll come back to her.
All right. So yeah, Devin 31678. Did my neighbor dig it up, the one that mows, out of curiosity?
Yes, I would say he did. And I also would say, Devin, the next time you do a mirror box spell, take it to the graveyard like most good witches. They never dig it up. Speaking of witches, I about lost it today. Here I am taking my 5-minute break to go play on social media because I'm only allowing myself 5 minutes to get on social media, and then I'm the hell out of there. And there's this lovely meme. Witchy tip. Leave a pair of open scissors underneath your bed in the form of a cross to cut the spiritual attacks for you during the night.
Meanwhile, I just want to know what you cut out of our kitchen sink. Because that's how I found our scissors when I got home earlier today, was in the sink.
Uh-huh.
Spread eagle.
Thank you.
I'm like, so what was that about?
Oh, that was me working on some clutter.
Oh, okay. So you're decluttering with that. So you can declutter with open scissors in a sink. Okay, cool. That's fine.
Yeah. Joe, what was the number one rule we had when we first started dating? I told you there were some following rules you must abide by.
Okay. Oh, no.
You broke it last Christmas and we had a fucking argument and I about had to hit you.
What? What did I do?
What do you think you did?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking.
It has to do with the subject at hand.
About rules.
And scissors.
And scissors. Oh. Yeah. I forget what that was, though. It's something about, I think, where I stored them.
No, you had them in the bed.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I have to wrap presents somewhere in this damn house.
No, you don't. You can be like me and wrap them in the car like most normal humans. But anyhow.
Oh, no. No. You do not get to run there and then run away. No. People deserve to see how your car-wrapped presents turn out.
Uh-huh.
Like, y'all. Bless his little heart. He is the only human being that I have ever seen that could wrap a tiny square box and make it look like a football.
Uh-huh.
I'm just saying. Yeah, well, I had the great big scissors, and yes, I left them on the bed.
I don't care what size scissors are. They do not belong in your bed if you're in a happy relationship, you idiots.
Yeah, well, you know. You got gifts.
I get that. I'm gone an hour and a half a day.
See, Ashley's like, that's me at the end of the roll. Oh, Shannon just hates wrapping them, so she goes for bags or decorative boxes. Mm-hmm. I'm still saying he'll turn it into a football. Yes. You can get a spiral on it.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Just saying.
It's the same way. Scissors do not go in a bedroom. They do not go underneath your bed if you have a happy marriage. There should be nothing underneath your bed. Point blank. We kind of freaked out when we were replacing the mattress on Joe's bed. Actually, I like 45.
So 45, Ashley. 64. All right. So, unfortunately, not 82 or 86. Brenda, it absolutely does. Like, I thought at one point, like, I was getting a refrigerator because one of those packages was just so big.
Uh-huh.
But then after you, like, tore down, it was much smaller.
Uh-huh. So what has been the best package you've gotten from me?
The best one so far? Okay, I think birthday this year. I'm sorry, I have to go with it. You got me. It's so cute. He got me because I make the joke all the time that I have short arms, so I'm a T-Rex. And he got me a T-Rex bag for my gift, as in that's what the gift was in. Like that's been the best wrapping. Like
that wasn't the question.
Well, but the best gift?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I still got to go with the iPad that was in the T-Rex bag.
Really? Are you sure it was in the T-Rex bag?
Do I know?
Are you sure it was in the T-Rex bag?
Yeah. I thought that was the one in the T-Rex bag.
No.
Okay, fine. It was the iPad with the T-Rex bag in the, observatory. What the hell ever, Colonel Mustard? Jesus.
What does Ashley Spirit Gods have to say to her, Mr. Runes?
Oh, girl, you asked for it.
You need to start focusing on your man stuff, your material things, your commonwealth, your common growth. You also need to start paying attention to your mental, societal ideas and questioning if they're correct. All right, so let's move on to Brenda.
All right, Brenda, 2263. Please tell me that I was lied to tonight. Ooh, yeah. I'm almost with Ashley, like, I need a backstory. But no, it's fine. We don't need the backstory. Like, it's been a while since I really hoped someone was lying to me, and that was.
Okay.
Like, I'm just gonna say
right,
those
I
are
did not draw these. These threw out. First up, we have the Six of Swords. That is indecision. As you see, the swords, 3 are going one way, 3 are going the other.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have the 8 of Wands. Someone doing some sneaky shit. Then we have the Hierophant here. So the single answer, please tell me someone lied to you tonight. You were lied to.
Oh,
Not only that, but they only told you half truths, even if it was a close truth.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So yeah, Ashley has a question again as well.
Mm-hmm.
So Ashley 2696, is the job I'm considering coming to me, or will I spearhead the project I suggested to my supervisor today? Oh, and Devin dreams of a $1,000 gift card to the fabric yarn shop. I can understand that.
Now,
What?
one, the gift cards to most stores are only good for 12 months. Secondly, they charge like $12.50 a month to manage that. The work of projects to clear $1,000 in gift cards isn't going to happen.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Oh, yeah. No,
Nope, you're going to be spearheading this project, honey. Prepare the planner, get out the books, plan out, because it's going to be hell and high water all the way damn through.
Now, with cash, I don't know I'm spending it all there. I don't know I'm spending it all there.
Personally,
like, I'd have to split that around. I'd have to diversify.
If someone was going to give me $1,000 as a gift, I really wish they'd just give me $1,000 worth of stock in my favorite company.
Oh, but the new position would be an 18,000 raise.
Ain't good enough for you.
Excuse me.
Try again.
Well, no, I'm not doing one more. That hurt.
I know.
Oh, grief, that hurt. Oh, she's a spearheading project means I have to take on all the challenges and probably no late raise or credit. Oh, thank you, guys.
That's why I said get out the notebooks, get out the planner.
Don't you hate it when you open your mouth and just get yourself more damn work?
Uh-huh.
What? It's true.
Not really, because normally I get benefits from it.
Oh, see, no, that's not how that works. I open my big dumb mouth and I say the thing, and someone's like, that's a really great idea. You should do that. And it's like, why? Why do I say these things? Why can't I keep my mouth shut and just be like, run your business into the ground? I don't want to take on one more thing. No.
Mhm. Well, for me, I open my big mouth and I normally get called into meetings and more meetings and more meetings about meetings.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Like, well, but those are beneficial and good, and it's not exactly that it creates more work. Like, I know some of like the situation you're like specifically at the moment could be talking
Hmm.
about, and like, but that, I mean, yes, it creates more things. Like, it cascades into like, okay, making that comment turned into a wait, what the hell do you mean? That's occurring,
Hmm.
which then turns into another meeting in which it's like, okay, explain it to me like I'm 5, because that's not supposed to happen.
Hmm.
Then that turns into another meeting.
Hmm.
And I'm okay with that. I can get there with that. Like, I can do some testing. I can throw some things out there.
Hmm.
Like, I'm cool with that. I mean, when it's like I open my big dumb mouth and then I have to spend the next 6 months building something for someone. And
Uh-huh.
it's like, why? Like,
Because
as
you're
in,
my husband.
well, yeah, but like I walk myself into massive projects
Hmm.
where it's like, oh no, why?
Because you're
Um,
my husband. All right, so let's move into, are you an asshole?
well, am I the asshole? 1 second, let me get over to that. Am I the asshole for leaving a bad review on a small store? So my boyfriend and I have a tradition for our anniversary that we each go to a store and separate, and after we buy each other gifts, we exchange the car. It's silly and cute. We walked into this new mom and pop anime store. I'm a huge anime nerd, and my boyfriend likes video games, which they also sell. We separate, and I go look at stuff for my boyfriend. A worker walks up to me and starts chatting, then points at my leg. I have a pretty big tattoo of Kakashi from Naruto on my thigh, among other anime tattoos. He asked if I got that for my boyfriend, and I said no. I've I've always loved Naruto, and then showed him my other tattoos, which included the Leaf Village symbol, Gara the Sands Gourd, and a piece on my arm of Asuma. Okay, this is as far as I go with this one. In terms of like getting it right, like I'm a poser. I'll just tell you now. Like I know just enough to pronounce most of these, but this last one I got nothing. So anyway, he started quizzing me on the lore of the anime, and I told him I wouldn't have spent $1,000 on tattoos of an anime I didn't know about, and I didn't appreciate him trying to catch me in a gotcha moment. He told me he didn't believe a girl could ever fully understand the real story of Naruto and the depth behind it. I told him I didn't need his services and he can go back to the front desk. He told me I was a rude wannabe bitch and walked into the back, and I continued purchasing my items. I left a review later. Too long didn't read. If you're feminine presenting, enter with caution. One of the employees will call you a bitch when you don't want to prove your nerd cred to him. The owner left a comment on my review asking for an email conversation, and asked that I take down my review because people have started complaining about his employee as well, and his sales revenue has dropped. I told him I wouldn't, and maybe he shouldn't hire misogynists if he doesn't want bad reviews. My friends tell me I'm overreacting.
No, you're not.
No, you're not. You're not the asshole. You're so not the asshole. Like, score. Like, that's how you deal with that. That's how you deal with that.
Yeah. Exactly. I live on reviews. I deal with reviews all the time. Matter of fact, if you like this show, leave a review for it. If you like my readings, leave a review for them. Be factual and clearly, but please take time to leave reviews. He's an
Well,
asshole.
Yeah, well, because like I'm sitting here and I'm going, all but the tattoos, unless something has changed for my sister. All but the tattoos.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're lucky that's all you got, because my sister would have kicked your ass.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she would have destroyed you.
Right.
Like that, like, because this could be my sister, all but the tattoos. Because I'm like, I don't think she's spent $1,000 on tattoos within the last few years.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the panini was bad for all of us, but I don't think it sent her running for tattoos. That would be visible. That would be visible. Is what I'm saying. Like, if my sister has tattoos, I know nothing about it.
Right.
I'm just going, so if they're visible, where someone in a store would see them, like a leg tattoo, yeah, that's not my sister. That's like the, ooh, okay, not a family drama moment. But otherwise, I'm like, that could be her, and she would destroy you.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is bad. The non-gaming nerd can destroy you.
Oh, well, you game enough.
I game enough, but again, I'm not super into all the MAGA, but I understand it enough to outlive.
All right, so can anyone help me on this one? Because I finally got to stop and reprocess it. Am I saying this right? Asuma Saratobi.
Call the invisible assistant.
No, we're not calling the invisible assistant.
Paging Dr. Bombay.
Yeah, reviews are written for a reason. All right, Shannon gives me like, yes, you got it. I don't know. I got to that one and my brain just did I don't know. My brain just like hit the letter combination, went nope. Mm-hmm. Not happening right now.
So no, I wouldn't take down the review.
And Brenda loves Dr. Bombay.
Yes. Which I really, one of these days, I am going to create the command for paging Dr. Bombay on my devices.
Oh, no. Oh. Good grief.
All right, on to relationship advice. My colleague ate my personal lunch. My colleague ate my ham and cheese sandwich today that was in the shared work fridge. I know it was them because they only ate half the sandwich and put the rest in the bin because they didn't like it. My other colleague watched them eat it, and put it in the bin. I am now here without lunch and have to wait until I get home for dinner. This is the second time this has happened this year, that my lunch went missing or was eaten by somebody else. I'm not sure what to do. This is what you do.
Oh no, this is going to involve Vizine, isn't it?
No. They're not a bad customer that deserves drinks.
Fair enough.
You are going to go to the store and buy you some fancy feast pate.
Oh.
You're going to take 2 slices of molded bread and toast them. You're going to cover it in fancy feast pate. Cut it in half, and you need to replace the sandwich bowl once every 2 weeks in the lunch bag. You, however, are going to pack another lunch in the bottom compartment of your lunch pocket and put it in an ice thing. The sandwich in your bag needs to be remembered that is not the sandwich you eat. Do not share this with your colleagues. So every, few days or whatever, replace the fancy feast pate sandwich. They will never touch your lunch again.
Okay, and that one is safe enough. Okay, because because I went with Visine, but like there's so many, and y'all are great because I've got X-Lax cookies The next sandwich would be loaded with the hottest peppers I could find. Yeah, like you got to be careful what you do in that, springing a trap on someone, because some of these can be suable like assault offenses.
Well, not only that, but it could actually be dangerous. Example, the X-Lax cookies, where X-Lax is a medication, and we're talking the traditional X-Lax that is made like a chocolate bar. In a cookie, you could actually overdose someone on X-Lax and cause permanent damage to the bowel syndrome.
Even if they steal your lunch.
Yes.
It's sort of the same concept legally as in if someone like trespasses on your property or breaks into your home and you have booby trapped it, you are liable for their medical bills, even though they committed an illegal act by trespassing or breaking and entering. Right. You can be liable for those medical bills.
Yes. It's like in the state of West Virginia, if someone is breaking into your home, they have to be within 2 foot of you personally before you can shoot them.
Yeah.
Alpo dog food does not look close enough
to like ham salad. So Brenda points out Dad's coworker made river mud balls to take place of the chocolate peanut butter balls that were being stolen. Last ones that were stolen. I'm sure they were.
Yep.
Ooh.
All right. Other things that have occurred at lunches. And the reason I say fancy feast is my Aunt Mary was fighting with her husband over lunches. And he got up really freaking early because he worked the railroad. I think it was like 4 in the morning. After the last time he berated her about her poor lunch packing abilities, for about a week he got fancy feast or pate whatever sandwiches. He never asked her to pack another lunch.
Fair enough. Like, I'm sorry. I find if someone packs your lunch, you are grateful. Even if you go throw that out on the side of the road. Like, even if you're just like, I don't know what the hell you were thinking. You are dumb. You just cannot put together a meal to save your life. You can go throw that away and you go, that was great. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And then, like, you buy your lunch. That's what you do.
Yes, cat food and mayo look like tuna fish.
Yes. Oh, but yeah, no. And that wasn't about him. He packs a great lunch. He really does. You do great. But no, I've had other people try to pack for me, and it's just like, you didn't toast bread? Like, I'm not eating this for like 6 hours. There is mayonnaise and meat and like when I go to eat that, no. I've had someone do that to me before, and I was just like, thank you, that was great. I really appreciate it. Because the minute I pulled it out, it's like, well, I'm ordering out today. It was like, ew. Like, no. Oh, Devin has a story. When my parents were first married, my dad shot a squirrel and expected mom to clean it and cook it. So she stuck it in the skillet and all and served it. Last squirrel he ever brought home, I'm sure. At least for her to cook. Oof. No. I will say, though, the one and only time I tried to catch and I was a kid. Y'all got to give me some slack. I caught a fish as a little kid. This was after the incident of hooking my dad's lip. I got so excited, and this fish was tiny. I had no clue what I was doing. And Mom finds me with a skillet and I forget, like, I guess it was like a spatula. And this poor unfortunate fish in a skillet overheat. I knew not what I was doing. I had no idea how you were supposed to gut a fish, clean a fish, all this. She freaked. I went out of the house with skillet and all because he's still flopping around. Skillet and all, I swear to God. And I just dumped the fish back in the water, and I was like, never again. Nope.
And this is why to this day I can't get him to go fishing.
Yeah, basically that's part of it. That's a big part of it. Because no, I knew not what I was doing. No one explained this to me. Like, I was taught that the goal was to catch the fish, and then no one filled in the blank. No one filled in the blank. So I did what made the most sense was you eat it, right? You catch the fish, and then you eat it. And this fish was so stupid. Like, I mean, it was so, like, it was not going to feed anyone. It was a snack.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. It was an hors d'oeuvre to a snack.
Uh-huh.
Like, if you had properly cleaned, like, I know this now. If you'd properly cleaned it and gutted it and, you know, all the things that I've never done and will not ever do, not interested. I buy my fish prepackaged, frozen, generally speaking, at a grocery store. That's it. That's all I got.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, scale it, debone it, fillet it, remove the head. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, done none of those things. Whole ass fish.
Do not hit the liver or the stomach.
Yeah, whole ass fish in a skillet. He is flopping around for dear life. Because he was. And yeah, so he got dumped back into the lake because I didn't know what else to do, and Mom was just could not form words. Like, she just could not even with what I was doing. Like, she was somewhere between horrified and laughing hysterically. Like, it was a 1-2 combo that I had never seen Mom do, and it scared the hell out of me because she could not form actual words and sentences.
Uh-huh.
So I panicked, and that's all I could come up with. And I swear to this day, because it worked with my little kid head, with the fish is okay. He was okay. He was still flopping around, so he's okay. So I'm sure 30 years on, that fish is out there swimming in that little tiny pond. Because I felt so bad afterwards. Oh, yeah, can you imagine the stories that fish told his buddies? Oh, hell yes.
Yes.
This dumb kid.
This dumb human took me up there and put me a damn skillet. I don't know what the hell they're doing. I know what they're doing out on those beaches. They're hopping around on skillets trying to tan themselves. Look at my golden tan.
Yeah, really.
All right, petty wives. Petty wives, get your pen and paper ready for this one.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Take it away, Vanna.
Okay, where am I at?
Brenda.
All right. Effective for husbands. My aunt coated my uncle's underwear with Bengay. Let it dry. Body heat and moisture kicked in on his drive to the mines. Ran like hell to the bathhouses. I'm sure he did.
Mm-hmm. The problem is water only makes it worse.
Yeah.
By the way, the drying time for Bengay is 12 hours, and that is with no heat in the dryer.
Ooh. All right, so Shannon says, I had a coworker who kept stealing my healthy steamers. So I took a squirter and put Hot One's last dab. Oh, God, I've heard of this just today. I literally did. I just heard of this stuff today. But anyway, I took a squirter and put Hot One's last dab in it without noticeably breaking the seal, and they stopped sealing my lunches after that. I make my lunches for me, not you. I like spicy food, and since I'm married to a Mexican, no one questioned that argument.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
She let it dry overnight. So yes, 12 hours, people.
Yes. Oh. No, someone didn't go to summer camp. That's what I heard.
Oh, somebody went to summer camp. They bypassed the dry time at summer camp.
Well, yeah, they do, but you should know that feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you should, if you are a man, or potentially even a man, woman, they, them, whatever you are, if you have been to a summer overnight sleepaway camp, you should know what it is like to wake up and have that feeling of being gay somewhere, anywhere on your body, because it is unique and distinctive, and it should kick in immediately what the hell it is. And no, you should have also learned at summer camp, water does not help.
Yeah, but you're not understanding what occurred.
Okay.
All right. She took the underwear that she laid out for, or was going to lay out for her husband for the next day of work.
Yes.
She
Coated
coated
it
it
in
in Bengay and allowed
Get
the
dry.
Bengay to dry. This I am quite sure he thought was extra starch.
Or extra fabric softener or something. It was a little bulkier than normal.
Exactly.
No, I got that part, and then started, like as you do,
Mm-hmm.
You're a little damp after your shower, you get a little sweaty, the two mix together, and all of a sudden is now liquid again. Am I wrong?
Likely a nighttime showerer.
Hey, fair enough. Even then, you start getting a little humid.
Mm-hmm.
Bippity boppity boo.
Uh-huh.
But I'm saying you should know what that feeling is. Like, that is a unique sensation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's, I like, personally, I would think it falls into one of two categories. You're either A, having a stroke,
Mm-hmm.
or you have a pinched nerve. One of the two. Yeah, okay, either way.
Uh-huh.
But what I'm saying is, you should know what that feeling is, because it's unique and distinctive. Like, pinched nerve, having a stroke, it's one of the, like, if it's not those two,
Mm-hmm.
then yeah, it's been gay. Because it's the only way I ever found to describe the sensation.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
so you can tell who the petty one is.
Mm-hmm. Petty. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Shannon's like, don't piss off people who handle your laundry, money, or food.
Or all of the above.
I'm just saying. Like, no, I got it. I'm just like you, but if you were ever at a summer sleepaway camp, you know that experience.
Uh-huh.
Oh, he did on the drive, nowhere to strip. Got it.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
I think I would have just been buck ass naked on the side of the road. Like, I'm going to get arrested for this. I'm going to make you come bail my ass out.
Well,
then I'm going to make you explain it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm going to sell you out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to be like, take it away, spouse. Tell them what occurred.
See, I don't know, officer. He's been having issues keeping his clothes on lately.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Of course, then again, I call you to a police station, you get a date.
I get 3, thank you very much.
Fair enough.
Like,
he doesn't get tickets. He is the only, literally, I'm scared to death to get pulled over because I've been pulled over twice in my life. And both times I got a ticket, one for failure to yield. Did not know that was a thing. Of course, then again, I'd only had my driver's license for a couple of months. The second ticket was politely given to me at 8565 Reckless, and I will never forget the name of Officer D.W. Pruitt, who not so politely told me that I could tell him what I did or he could arrest me for what I did. And I went, yes, sir. I was doing over 85 miles per hour in a 65 mile per hour zone. He goes, you want to try a little higher? And I said, I would, but my speedometer stops at 85, but the needle was bouncing. I got a ticket for 85, 65 reckless. 400 and some dollars. But no, that's my officer experience. Both times, got a ticket. There was no. He tells me things like when we first got together. He was on the phone with me, and he's like, "Oh, I'm getting pulled over," and I'm like, "Oh God." I'm like, call me back if you can. Like, let me know where they take you. Is it an undisclosed location? Is where my brain starts going like, oh, this is bad. This is bad. This is bad. He calls me back and goes, and I'm like, oh, okay, all right. Are you on your way to jail? Did you get a ticket? Like, how bad is the ticket? Like, And he's like, no, that was so-and-so. I hadn't run into him in forever. He just wanted my number and told me to make sure to change the light bulb in my tail light. What? Oh.
The last ticket I received that was a real ticket was doing 43 and a 55.
Yeah, he loves to point that out. The last ticket he got. Okay, and now you have to tell the rest of the story. I'm going to make you tell the rest of the story. Why? Oh, why did you get a ticket for 43 and a 55 on an off ramp?
On ramp. I was driving a Grand Mercury, and apparently this rookie officer, first day on the job, decided to pull me over. Anyone that knows what a Grand Mercury is knows that it is a lead sled on a fast way to hell. It don't get up and move unless it feels like it.
Well, technically, Mercuries in general have granny gearing. Like, they are crap. They don't move for crap through those first 3 gears. But boy, you hit that 4th one, you can fly.
Well, true, but you've got to hit the 4th one.
Oh, it takes forever.
2 o'clock in the morning, and he tried to give me failure to yield and blocking traffic. And I said, what traffic? There's only me and you on the road, and we're on a 4-lane, so you can technically go around me like you're supposed to be in the other lane. Do I need to call your chief of police? No, sir. I'll just give you a warning. I said, thank you. I remember when he was a rookie. And he won't like me reaching him at home.
Oh, no. See, no, I never get cops that aren't serious. I've always gotten the most serious police officers ever.
I never do. Now, granted, I'm a former cop's husband. I missed my plate that I used to have on the back of my car with its emblem.
Fair enough. But no, yeah. Yeah, Brenda's like, got a friend. He just ends up being given the cop's number and ends up with a date and warning. Yeah, he doesn't even get a paper trail. Like, I'm just sitting here like, his luck. I tell y'all what, his luck.
Now, I don't know these officers here. I'm sure they're good. They seem to have a lot of time at Sheets. I'm just saying. Warden, if you are watching, you might want to go to Sheets about 2:30 in the morning. Get you a cup of coffee.
Oh,
if I remember right, you take yours black with a little bit of cream.
Oh, there you go. I'm sorry, I'm loving Shannon's comment. My kid's boyfriend said, I want to get her a book about herbs. Is that okay? And I snorted and said, sure. He asked why I was laughing. Dude, she handles your food and you want to give her a book of these are poisonous ingredients. Sure, you do that. LOL. Kid cooks all his food. So yeah, Sam Clark says I've gotten pulled over so much for speeding because I got manic love. Okay. I don't cops are not fun to deal with. Okay.
No.
Yeah, I'm gonna be careful reading the rest of that just because I don't prefer saying those words out loud.
I know.
Like you do you, but like I would feel weird saying that whole sentence out loud.
Yep. All right, and FOP donations do well to cops organizations.
My dad had a moment, and it was so weird. Like, I know everyone's like people say the weirdest shit sometimes when they're dying. But my dad, like middle of the night, yeah, Sam, I'm totally there. I'm not quite comfortable in the reclaimed crowd. Like I'm not in the code of happiness. But no, anyway, back to my dad real quick because you said FOP, and like the middle of the night, we get this phone call, my grandmother and I, and he started down this path of like hospices there, etc. We get this call, and he is just so adamant about we have to send a donation to FOP. And I'm like, and this is like the most important thing in the world to him. And it's like, okay, Dad, we will, don't worry about it. We'll do that. And I never have figured out why that was the thing that popped into his head that was so important.
Probably all the tickets he should have gotten. Would have paid their retirement fee.
Okay, but you also got to realize that, like, my dad, yeah, he should have had a ton of, like, my father should not technically have had a driver's license since somewhere in the 1960s, maybe 70s, if you give me credit. Because my dad was technically a recovering alcoholic. Word choices there. But like if you're talking about the 50s, 60s, and 70s of his driving, that was a period in which when you were driving under the influence, they didn't lock you up exactly. They had you follow them they followed you to the police station, and they put you in a drunk tank to sober the hell up. And in the morning, they gave you black coffee and popped you on the ass and gave you your, go.
Or called your wife to come pick up the car.
Or that. One of the two. You didn't really get, like DUI was not really a big thing. And like looking backwards and thinking about it, like there were so many stories from Dad about shit that happened while he was drunk and driving. And it's like, it took me forever to realize, like, hindsight 2020. Oh my God, my father should not have had like if my dad had pulled that crap, like 20 years later, he wouldn't have had a license. Like, no, our insurance would be through the roof. He wouldn't be allowed to drive. But because of when he did it historically, it was like, okay, sober the hell up and go home.
Right.
Like, horrifying. But he always wants to talk about he only got one ticket ever. And he was like 70 some years old, and that was because he washed his truck and wanted to dry it off, so he was doing like 75 and a 55.
Right. All right, so we are going to cover one last topic in this.
Okay.
Just because it's psychic news. And it is a psychic told Stephanie Johnson's life would be tough. And she was right. Johnson, a former burlesque dancer known as. You're going to have to take this over.
Okay, I'm looking for the article. Sorry, 1 second. Oh, there it is. Sorry, it got lost there. All right, a psychic said Stephanie Johnson's life would be tough, and she was right. Johnson, a former burlesque dancer known as Tanqueray, overcame many obstacles before she was featured in Humans of New York. Then things changed quickly. Just before Stephanie Johnson was released from prison in the 1950s, she asked a psychic and fellow inmate to read her palm. She told me I'd lived my entire life in New York City, Johnson writes in her new memoir, and that it would be a tough life and a lonely life, but that one day a lot of people would know my name. The fortune teller also told Johnson she would come into big money one day. Seems she was right. In 2019, Brandon Stanton interviewed Johnson, whose mink coat and matching hat caught his eye, for his Humans of New York blog. Johnson, then 76, shared the wild story of her life as a burlesque dancer known as Tanqueray. She became a media sensation. A year later, when Johnson needed medical attention, Stanton posted 33 chapters of Johnson's life story on Instagram to solicit help. More than 3 million people read the saga and donated over $2 million. But the story Stanton told was only part of Johnson's incredible journey. In Tanqueray, a body but deeply touching memoir, Johnson bears it all. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Aww. Keep going, or you want to take it?
Yeah, go on.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I've got a video over here.
Okay, so she recounts with Stanton's help growing up in black in a white neighborhood in Albany at the hands of a cruel but very stylish mother who worked for the governor's office. After becoming pregnant as a teenager, Johnson left home but returned briefly one night to retrieve some of her clothes. Her mother caught her and had her arrested for robbery. The judge gave me a choice. Either I could give the baby up for adoption and go back to live with my mother, or I could do 1 to 3 in Bedford Hills prison. I agreed to give the baby up, but I wasn't going back to my mother's, so I told the judge to send me to prison, she writes. Johnson made the best of her time behind bars. Artistic from a young age, she crafted marriage certificates for the lesbian inmates and choreographed a dance for Family Day. On her release, Johnson moved to New York just as the palmist predicted, landing a job as a seamstress in Greenwich Village, but spending free time up in Harlem, where she experienced racism firsthand. She would go to house parties with friends where a guy would stand outside to collect the money in a brown paper bag. It was $10 to get in, and if you were darker than the bag, you weren't allowed inside. In her Salvation Army room, Johnson would lie awake all night and listen to the city's sounds. That's how New York sounds late at night. It sounds like you're going to lose your place in line, and if you don't get out of bed, the thing that was supposed to happen to you is going to happen to someone else. After fencing stolen fur coats for a while, Johnson landed a role-playing gig in a hotel, pretending to be a maid for department store scion Alfred Bloomingdale, who she says tried to whip her with his belt. Johnson ran for the door and soon found her calling as a dancer, working at the infamous Billy's Topless in Chelsea. Her stage name came from a single father, a Tanqueray drinker named Oscar, who would come and see her regularly, giving her a box of candy every Christmas with silver dollars glued to the top. Johnson saved all those boxes and their silver dollars. He never hit on me or anything. He'd just give me advice and stuff, and I always listened. Johnson explains, because the way I saw it, if you're raising 3 kids on your own and you're getting through it, I'll listen to how you're getting through it. Johnson tells of her Italian mobster boyfriend who would be her one true love, driving her to Cape Cod in his convertible where she would watch the sunrise for the first time in her life. He would later fall victim to heroin addiction, and Johnson recounts how the romance fell apart. Throughout her career, Johnson designed costumes for herself and her fellow dancers, an incredible cast of characters, including one woman who played the harmonica with her private parts, and another who served hot dogs to audience members in much the same way. After coming up with her own stage gimmick, which you'll have to read the book to learn about, Tanqueray would become one of the most famous strippers in New York, so high profile that she landed a column in the adult magazine High Society. Her fictionalized exploits led to jobs with the NYPD, she says, one time as the featured performer at a party celebrating a break in the Son of Sam case, where she says the lead detective dressed in drag. The fire department hired her for their bachelor parties, but would often have to stop the show to run out on a call. As Johnston aged, the work fell off naturally, so she turned to doing makeup for cross-dressers, among other jobs. I hope when I get to heaven, God shows me a movie of my life, but just the funny parts, because then we'd both start crying.
This is amazing. Some of the things that have occurred. If you get a chance to get this book, and it is out, read it.
It definitely sounds worth the read.
It is a wild story. And it starts out with the palmistry. All right, so we do have a final question from Terry Tree, and then we're going to hit the road for the night, guys.
All right, Terry T, December 12th, 1990. How's the energy of my upcoming boards exam looking? One's on the 17th of September, one's on the 1st of October. Any advice from spirits?
Let's see what Spirit has to say, shall we? Okay. Very interesting. First up, we have the Knight of Wands here. Are you searching for new knowledge? Your board exams will not be the stopping of your learning. You need to also, with the Ten of Cups, remember everything you've accomplished so far so we can defeat that self problem, because you put yourself down too much. We do have the Two of Wands here showing you looking out at the future ahead. You'll do quite well there. With the World card showing you finishing your cycle, i.e. finishing with the board exams. Moving into your future, however, you need to be careful not to take on too much at one time. With the Ten of Wands, you need to remember your opportunities, not that you have to have them all. And remember that with the Five of Wands here, you want to have a little bit of good time. You are the magician, so you've got to remember that you create your destiny in this position. Do not overstress. Do not put yourself down. And remember, it's just paperwork you're doing like any other 2 days of the year. All right. All right, guys. I hope you've enjoyed our stories, you've enjoyed our news articles tonight, and you've enjoyed the readings. We really appreciate you listening, having fun, and joining us for a cup of coffee. And as always, Vanna, take it away.
All right, so of course we want to thank our Patreon sponsors, Beverly Walker, Mika G, Kathy, Mary Winfield, Brenda Bryan, Ashley Giss, Shannon C, Shannon D, the ever-wonderful Lady Gwendolyn, Charles Shaw, Dottie the Psychic, Tracy Van, and the Laughing Tree Grove. If you'd like to support the show or learn more about us and how you too can become a Patreon sponsor and receive all the wonderful benefits our baristas receive, please visit us at pcspnetwork.com.
And remember to join us Thursday nights for coffee and tea at 8 p.m. This week it's Dottie, so it'll be fun to see what we're going to be talking about. Till then, good night, y'all. Be safe, have fun, and remember the laughs. Bye.
Bye.
Stacked. You can whisper behind my back. You can show me how the odds are up against me all day long. But I've been through the fire and come out alive, and there's no more fear in my eyes. Oh, now I'm rising, and you can't bring me down. You can't stop.